The Buddha on the Four Jhanas, from the Middle-Length Discourses, Sutta 66. This is called the bliss of renunciation, the bliss of seclusion, the bliss of peace, the bliss of enlightenment. I say of this kind of pleasure that it should be pursued, that it should be developed, that it should be cultivated, that it should not be feared. Introduction. About the manual. This manual provides comprehensive practical guidance for developing the jhanas, profoundly serene and blissful states of meditative concentration, potentially all the way to the cessation of perception and feeling, Nirodha Samapatti, the highest meditative attainment possible according to the early Buddhist scriptures. The basis for developing the jhanas is the practice of mindfulness of breathing. The guidance is based on my personal experience with all the meditative states discussed in the manual. The early Buddhist texts are the scriptural basis for the meditative states, the 9 attainments, namely 4 jhanas, 4 formless attainments, and the cessation of perception and feeling. Specifically, it's the Sutta Pitaka, the Suttas, the canonical texts of Theravada Buddhism. However, even the Suttas say that the Buddha himself learned to enter some of the states, the 7th and 8th attainments of the 9, before awakening from other ascetics. That means these meditative states are not reserved for Buddhists only, and can be practiced separately from the Buddha's teaching. I aim to provide practical advice on developing the meditative states, not to delve into the Buddha's doctrine beyond what is necessary for the meditation training. Whether it is used secularly or as part of the Buddhist Eightfold Path is up to the reader. I include the most relevant information that may help progress towards and through the 9 meditative attainments. The manual focuses on mind training in a retreat setting, covering both the time on and off the meditation cushion. I do not claim that following the approach here will make everyone enter the jhanas. I do claim, though, that if met with some other factors, listen to the theory chapter for details, it can lead one all the way from mindfulness, through the jhanas and formless attainments, to the cessation of perception and feeling, Nirodha Samapatti. The manual is suitable for anyone, lay people, monks, or nuns, aspiring to go beyond basic mindfulness on a meditation retreat. Beginners can start by practicing mindfulness of breathing as described here at home and use it as a basis for their first meditation retreat in the future. Intermediate practitioners with retreat experience can use the tips here to fine-tune their training and progress further. Expert meditators already mastering the formless attainments can see whether the tips for getting from the neither perception nor non-perception to the cessation of perception and feeling will work. The training is tailored to developing deeper meditative states on a retreat. However, if you do not plan to go on a meditation retreat, you can still use the mindfulness of breathing techniques for your mind practice outside of a retreat setting. The manual does not take into account the potential mental health issues of the meditator. I don't have any professional education in that area. The instructions assume the meditator is generally in good health. For such individuals, I'm not aware of any potential health risks associated with the practices described here. If you have a relevant health condition, it is advisable to discuss the suitability of attending a meditation retreat with a healthcare professional. Why did I write the manual? The 9 meditative attainments have changed my life. These states cannot compare to anything experienceable in everyday life. Calling them the utmost meditative bliss, peace, and release is not an exaggeration. I want to make them more accessible to others. That is my mission. The training is not easy, and making it to jhana is not guaranteed, but it's undoubtedly worth trying. Overview of chapters. Part 1. Groundwork for Serenity. Chapter 1. Theory. clarifies the key terms used throughout the manual, and discusses the key factors for attaining jhana. Chapter 2. Training outside of meditation. Covers all relevant aspects of the meditation retreat practice outside of formal meditation, including a suggested daily retreat schedule. Chapter 3. General meditation tips. Practical advice relating to any level of meditation. Chapter 4. Mindfulness training. Provides meditation instruction for 3 modes of mindfulness of breathing, the third one potentially culminating in the first jhana. Part 2. Advanced meditation. Chapter 5. Jhana training. Walks the reader through the practice of the 4 jhanas and lists their benefits. Realistic time frames for getting into the jhanas are also discussed. Chapter 6. Beyond jhana. Formless attainments. Explains the meaning of the formless, provides instruction for transitioning from the 4th jhana to the formless absorption, and continues the journey through the meditative attainments to the edge of conscious experience. Chapter 7. Cessation of perception and feeling. Nirodha Samapatti. Detailed elaboration of the highest meditative state, including tips for attaining it, my first experience of emerging from it, some features and effects of the cessation practice, such as non-duality, and ways to check for oneself that the cessation is happening. Chapter 8. General Notes. Closes the meditation discussion with final thoughts and tips on the samadhi training, especially on overestimation. Each chapter ends with a few key takeaways. Summary of key takeaways follows the conclusion of the manual. Chapters 2 to 4 will be the most practical for most meditating readers. Part 2, chapters 5 to 8, deals with advanced mind training requiring more extended retreat periods. Therefore, Part 1, chapters 1 to 4, will suffice for mindfulness practitioners who are unconcerned about the advanced meditation stages. Finally, Chapter 7, Cessation of Perception and Feeling, might be the most interesting for readers curious about advanced meditation, as accurate information on the cessation attainment is scarce. Who is the author of the methods described in the manual? The approach described here is my method in the sense that it's how I've practiced and what has worked for me. But it's not my method in the sense that I would be the sole original author of it. It is based on the suttas. I learned most of the meditation instructions from my teacher, Venerable Aryadhamika. Some things are probably common knowledge in the Theravada meditation circles, passed on to me by others, and the rest are my inventions. Some of the tips may seem obvious to experienced meditators. I still include them as the aim is to provide a comprehensive manual helpful to beginners and advanced practitioners alike,